Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Hey everyone, FRATER Super Rabo here. Thanks for joining me and checking out my channel. I am here once again in my personal temple, coming at you with a new video. As it says in the title, we're going back to the basics today and going over the lesser ritual of the pentagram, one of the most important foundational exercise rites in the Western spiritual tradition, Hermetic tradition, whatever you want to call it. What I want to accomplish today, very simple. I want to go over a little bit of the history and theory on the ritual, where it came from, its forms, what to do with it, and then get right into practical knowledge about how to use it, and more importantly, how to do it. I'm going to go through step by step so that way a beginner can see the steps broken down and learn this ritual themselves. And at the end of the video, I'm going to do the ritual all the way through as I would in my regular practice, and as how you would see it done inside a magical lodge. And hopefully, after today, if you aren't doing it already, you will perform it as a part of your daily spiritual practice. So, the lesser ritual of the pentagram, let's get into it. It was and is a foundational rite or exercise given to neophytes, initiates of the First Order of the Golden Dawn, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. It is a exercise for setting up sacred space. It has two forms, the invoking form and the banishing form. You've probably seen the term, the letters LBRP a lot. If you look in any occult books, that means lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. That stands for the invoking, that stands for the banishing form of the ritual. I'm going to go over the invoking form today. That's what I'm going to perform for you later. The only difference between the two is the way you draw the stars. Now, I do have some theory on the two different forms, and that the Golden Dawn really meant 9 out of 10 times that the default mode was the invoking form and not the banishing form whenever they mention lesser ritual of the pentagram in their documents. There's evidence to support that. There's other occultists that are writers that have done videos on that topic, so I'm not going to go into it here. My whole point is I'm not saying that one is better than the other, that no one should say that. My point is there should be a balance, and since there's so much out there on the banishing form, I want to go into the invoking form and get, especially the beginner, in the practice of doing invoking, because as we know, the occult adage, invoke often and inflame thyself in prayer. This is a part of that, doing that active form of deity prayer, and invoking that spirit into yourself and your aura and your sphere of sensation. So what I'm going to recommend is doing both forms and keeping a balance. Maybe either invoking in the morning and banishing at night, or alternating days, something like that. But just so that you get both. The one more quick note on the invoking versus banishing. In all the instructions given, it tells you to do the same thing. Now, we traditionally know that when we banish, usually we walk or run or spin or however you want to call it, or whatever you want to do. It's usually counterclockwise, and then invoking is clockwise or deasil. Now, in the instructions that I've seen, all the ones that I've seen, it tells you for both versions, the LBRP and the invoking, they both go clockwise. For the adepts out there, if you don't do this already, I would challenge you to play with it a little bit, and when you do your banishing form, try walking the circle counterclockwise, and let me know if you comment below if you've ever done that, or you haven't done that, or when you try it, and let me know what happens. That's what I personally do, and it gives a whole different feel to the ritual. Anyway, enough of that. We're going into the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. Uses. We talked about the forms, so now we're going to talk about the uses. Like I said, it is setting up sacred space. You can do this as daily magical hygiene, as a precursor to a meditation practice or any type of general invocation or prayer. and just you can do it before bed. Just a daily ritual to help clean out your sphere of sensation, keep you connected to the gods or source, God, goddess, whatever you want or identify with in your spiritual tradition. The other thing that it can be used for is to begin a more serious, I don't want to say serious, a more in-depth magical working or spell ritual. So this would be a way of laying down that circle, setting up your sacred space, creating the mystic sphere within which you will work. It creates a boundary and a focal point within to raise power. So that's what the ritual is for. Now I want to go into how you do it. One last thing really quick before we get into the instructions. You will notice that there is a very Judeo-Christian element to this ritual. It uses Hebrew God names. It uses Hebrew archangels. I don't want that to turn anyone that is a pagan or Wiccan or anything, Hindu, anything, anyone of a different faith that's non-Abrahamic. I don't want that to turn them off from doing this. I personally, I'm a Thelemite and I'm a polytheist, so I'm definitely not a Christian. But the way I get around this is, I know a lot of people still have a bad taste in their mouth for being raised in an Abrahamic faith. So the way to get around this really is just looking at it as we are identifying with whatever we see as God. We're just using a different language. That's not English, and it happens to be Hebrew. We're not calling upon the God of the Jews. We're not calling upon Jesus' dad or the God of the Roman Catholic Church or anything like that. You don't have to look at it that way. You don't even have to look at it from the, oh, well, I practice Kabbalah and I'm a Kabbalist. You don't have to look at it that way. That's the reason why it's they use that language, because it is affiliated with Kabbalah, but you don't necessarily have to be a strict Kabbalist to do this ritual. So that's how you get around it. You basically just, you're not worshiping that God, but you are identifying with source or God, or however you see your higher power or powers, whatever your faith is, and you just happen to be using Hebrew. Now, when you get more accustomed to the ritual, if you want to play with it and you're a more seasoned magician, you can play with it. You can substitute God names of a pantheon of your choice. Just pick up your copy of 777. It's got all the correspondences in there. Every magician in which should have a copy of this book right here, or book 4, Liber Abba, Magick Liber Abba. This whole thing is in there as well. You can just plug in the right God names. I'll do a video later on how to use 777, by the way, because I'm kind of pressed for time with my memory on this device. So anyway, how to do the ritual. What you want to do is you're going to gather yourself together and go to wherever you perform your spiritual practice at. If you have a separate room, you do it in your bedroom. If you do it outside in the garden, take a walk in the woods, wherever you do this, you go there, right? And then the main thing is to get relaxed. You want to get relaxed. You want to take some deep breaths, do some rhythmic breathing. If you practice yoga, you can do pranayama, you can do alternate nostril breathing, kapalabhati, anything that helps you get centered in the moment and prepared to, I'm going to interact with the higher. I am about to undertake the great work. What we're about here is doing the great work, doing the magic, doing the spiritual practice, not just talking about it. Just one quick note, I'm not going to go off ranting and raving here, but I feel there is a dangerous, nasty little trend going on in the occult community of people talking about doing stuff and not actually doing it. Talking about the work, or even worse, they're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with the work. When we're here to be magicians, we're here to actually do the work. Do the work. Not rant and rave and talk about blah, 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 blah. So, do the work. That's why we're here. We're here to do the work, and that's why you checked out this channel. So again, thank you, and like and subscribe. So anyway, we get to our sacred space, and we're gonna set up for our lesser ritual of the pentagram. If you have incense or whatever, you want to light candles, dim the lights, depending where you are and what situation you got going on. You want to do all that, and then, like I said, get relaxed. Do some rhythmic breathing. Breathe in and out. Fourfold breath is great. Hold, breathe in, count of 4. Hold, count of 4. Release, count of 4. In. Do the same thing over and over. Now, once you are relaxed and you feel good, then starts the ritual. It begins with another separate ritual that you can just do on its own called the Kabbalistic cross. And essentially what we're going to do is bring the divine light into our aura or sphere of sensation. So, on the tree of life, I don't know if you can see it back there, we have that white sphere at the top. That is referred to as HOTEP, which is where God resides, essentially, just to be plain. That's where God is. It's heaven, or whatever you want to call it. That's where the limitless power, divine light, that's where God, Goddess, everything that is and was and all possibilities stem from it. So we'll close our eyes, and we want to connect with that divinity, that divine light. So we close our eyes, we either inwardly or actually look up, and then we take our hand and we reach toward that light. We reach toward the light, and you can either use your hand, your fingers here, or if you have a magical dagger, an athame, a sword, or a magic wand, you can do that as well. You want to reach up and really just connect with that light, feel it, touch it, and then bring it down into your aura, through the crown chakra. Touch your forehead, right where your Ajna chakra is, your brow, your third eye, and then you're going to vibrate the words Ata, that is Hebrew for thou art. After that, you're going to continue on and bring down all the way through your core, your spinal column, all the way down and touch right where the genital area is and pointing at the floor. You want to continue that feeling of that light and that energy going all the way down through the entire body, through the feet, into the earth at Malkut, and then you're going to vibrate Malkut. A quick note, side note on vibration. When I say vibration, I personally mean, my recommendation is to say it with force and strength and intent and purpose. You do not, a lot of people end up doing this singing through the nose thing like you hear on these old Crowley tapes, and like, and that you hear that in a ritual and you're just like, oh man. I don't know. I don't recommend that, but you know, just a nice, forceful. If you have not, you know, if you want to sing it and intone it, that's great too. But just really, whatever you do, even if you just whisper it, if you just say it with feeling and feel it, feel the energy. The words aren't necessarily what's important here. What's important is what you see and feel. So you want to see that energy in your third eye. You want to feel it throughout your body. So Ata, bring it down. Malkut, then the light comes back up to the right shoulder, Vegebura, to the left shoulder, Vegedura, Vegedula, and then bring the hands in at the center, Leolam, Amen. You can go like this or you can go like this, either or. Essentially, you're ending the Lord's Prayer there. Thou art the kingdom, the power, and the glory through all cycles, is what the basic translation is, I believe. And Amen. Leolam Amen. So, that is the Kabbalistic cross. If you want to just do that, it's a great way to just connect with the divine real quick and do that before your meditation practice or whatever you want to do. That's perfectly fine as a beginner. But that is the first part of the ritual of the pentagram. Once you do that, then you are going to face the east. You're already supposed to be facing the east in the center. You can walk into the east at this point, or if you are limited in space, you can just stay facing the east. On space, you can either walk and stop in the exact directions we're going to go to when creating the circle, or we can just turn if we don't have a whole lot of space. I'm going to be turning today because that's the only way the camera is going to be able to see all my actions. So we came to the center, we did the Kabbalistic cross, now we're in the east, and we draw our first pentagram. This is the second part of the ritual, is the formulation of the circle and the pentagrams in the circle. So to draw this star, the pentagram, we're going to start the invoking pentagram up at the top here, the top point of the star, to the left hip, over to the right, here, right hip, and then connect back. You can go fast, you can go slow and be flowy, like this. Whatever you want to do, however feels the best for you. Just try and see those pentagrams in your third eye. See them. Bright, flaming blue. That energy is coming out of your fingers or your tool, and you're carving that flaming blue pentagram into the quarter that you're standing at, and it's there, it's permanent. Really see it there in front of you. Once you do that, you can either stab it with your magical implement, or you're going to do the sign of the Enterer, which is you breathe in, you bring your hands to the temples, and you thrust forward and breathe out, and then when you come back in, like this, the sign of silence. You're going to vibrate a God name on the outwards of Enterer. In the east, that God name is Yod-He Vav-He. You can say the individual letters as it is the Tetragrammaton, or you can pronounce it Jehovah or Yehovah. Most people just say Yod-He Vav-He. That's up to you. Then we're going to continue on and doing the same thing. You're starting to see a pattern here. We're going to draw the circle and come to the south. Do the same star, same sign of the Enterer, different God name, Adonai. So, star, Adonai. Back out, and then draw the circle again. To the west, same star, Enterer, Hey. Sign of silence. Continue to draw it. Into the north, draw the same star. Sign of the Enterer, Agelah. Quick note on Agelah. That is basically an acronym, a Hebrew acronym that stands for Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Thou art mighty forever, my Lord. Most people just say Agelah, though. Once you come from north, then you come back and meet where you began in the east, and you connect that circle and the stars together, completely connected. Boom. Your circle is complete. You are back in the center. Then you are going to stand in the form of a tau cross like this and evoke the archangels. And that's simple as saying, before me, Raphael, behind me, Gabriel, to my right hand, Michael, and to my left hand, Oriel. So you evoke the four archangels. You want to visualize them as clearly and crisply as possible in the corresponding elemental colors. So in the east, Raphael wearing yellow and purple, Gabriel, the west, wearing blue and orange for water, Michael in the south for fire, red and green, and then in the north for earth, Oriel, usually black, green, and then you can have the four colors of Malkuth, also black, green, brown, and russet. Most people just use black and green. That makes it easier. So, once we do that, really feel the angels, see the angels, feel the energy, see the stars, and the circle surrounding you in wondrous white light and the beautiful blue pentagram flames. After that, then we are going to close again with the same Kabbalistic cross, the same way we opened. Atah, Malkuth, Vegebura, Vegedula, Leolam. Amen. Simple, right? Okay. So, I'm going to get set up here, and I'm going to perform this ritual for you before I run out of memory, hopefully. Stay tuned. Bear with me. Before me, Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. My right hand, Michael. To my left, Oriel. For about me flames the pentagram, and in the column shines the six-rayed star. Okay, hey guys, that was it. That's the lesser ritual of the pentagram, the invoking version. Thanks for staying with me till the end. I know it's a bit long. One thing I know I did forget, but I'm not going back and doing it because I've been trying to get this done forever now. But after the evocation of the archangels, you see me do it in the performance where I say, "For about me flames the pentagram," because you're surrounded by the pentagrams. And then I say, "In the column shines the six-rayed star." So at that point, you see the pentagrams and the archangels around you in flames. And then in the column stands for the column of light that you stand in the middle pillar, shines the six-rayed star, right here. So that is the above and the below, fire and water conjoined. The six-rayed star, or the star of the planets, the hexagram, standing on the square of Tefereth, the sun. You in the center of your own spiritual world, essentially. So I encourage you, go out, practice this ritual, comment below, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, share this with your friends. I will be back soon with another video, more rituals, some lectures and lessons, as well as readings. And also, let me know what you guys want to talk about. In the description below, you'll find my Facebook as well. Feel free to shoot me a line, drop me a friend request, and suggest some video topics or whatever. Also, I have a new blog, theserpentandthepharaoh.com. That will also, the link will be in the description box. Gonna get some content up on there now. All I have is an introductory post. Hopefully, by the time you see this, there will be several other things up there. But if not, it will be in the near future. So again, thank you everybody for staying with me and for checking out the channel. Like, subscribe, share. I will see you next time. Love is the law. Love under will.